Well, if that was not the weirdest confession episode that felt like a season finale, but it wasn't, and there was fourth wall breaking. Hi guys, it's Cam for 15 back at it with another video for you guys, and I'm back with another episode review of Science Fell in Love, so I tried to prove it. And I literally thought we were getting like this episode gave me season finale vibes. Like, okay, the story is over, it's done. Himuro and Yukimura, they finally ultimately confessed. We're at the point where they truly know that they truly both love each other and they're willing to start going out and start dating. And then they pull the rug under from you with the standpoint that they're going to continue their research. But deep down, they just love each other and they just don't. Whatever. Well, oh my goodness. This show is hilarious, but this show is sometimes so frustrating because it's like, oh my goodness. Sometimes, I feel like I'm Kanaday. I'm feeling like Kanaday right now. I'm like, are you serious, bro? Just freaking hook up. But anyways, what happens this week's episode is the whole thing we left off from last week where Himuro told Yukimura that she was in love with him. So they end up going out and, just, I guess you can say going on like a date, essentially. Yukimura doesn't know why Himuro's doing all this. But essentially, they're just, during this date they're going through like all the experiments they've been doing since season 1. And as they're like done with pretty much the day, they're essentially reflecting and realizing of like everything they came across and everything. She ends up doing the saliva test that gets my boy Yukimura feeling some sort of way. Like he starts getting flustered and he's like, oh. I'm like, oh, you want to finally get on that action, huh? That's what you want to get on. But anyways, they go back to their lab. They're headed back to the labs area. And the thing is, Himuro's kind of just thinking about everything that's been going on this entire time. And she's just wondering, like, if I truly love him, does this mean our relationship will be different? Does this mean, like, I want to keep, working alongside him, and everything. But what if we don't find out that we truly don't love each other? Is our relationship going to be strained? Is it going to be different? Is it going to be like distance? I don't know. She's having all these influxes of feelings. It's, I guess you can say, it's relatable to anybody that has feelings for somebody. It's kind of the whole thing of, she doesn't know how their relationship will go, how their friendship, their, thing will go if they go and start dating. Like, will it turn into a love relationship and everything where they only just, spend time in times of intimacy and stuff like that? Or, are they still going to be like working along side by side? And she doesn't know that. So she ends up turning around because she starts tearing up. She's like, okay, no, I got to get the moment right. She turns around. She ends up confessing to Yukimura that he's in love with her. Now, Yukimura is kind of taken back. He's shocked and everything. And he's like, what do I think? She just confessed to me. The movement, the whole thing, the whole setup of a confession like area they expressed in season 1 is happening. And I'm like, Yukimura, this would be a great time to just say you love her right back. And this man gets on his laptop like I'm recording right now. He's just typing up all these values and everything. And I'm watching this. I'm like, are you serious, bro? He's saying like these things that are complimenting her, but then he starts bringing up about the stuff that is kind of like, that gets on his nerves about her. And she starts to get pissed. And I'm like, this man's going to fumble the bag. But then he goes back to the positive and pretty much saying some things that dang near essentially ends up being a confession, because he ends up saying like things like he ends up saying like things that are like irresistible about her that he truly does like about Himuro and everything. And it gets to the point where he just ends up saying after types everything in, he gets a value, and then that's when he ends up confessing right next to her, saying that he's in love with her. And the whole thing is, it's a whole thing where she asks, can I lean on you? After doing this like value thing, they like, okay, for about a minute or two, you can lean on me and everything. So she leans on him, hugs him, he puts her arms around her, and she again says, I love you, and she starts kissing him. Now she kisses him on the lips, and I think Himuro starts doing that repeatedly, and it gets to the point where Yukimura, he's like, okay, enough of that. I'm not trying to go all the way with you, damn it. Because this man literally bolted up out of there because he knew it was gonna go somewhere that maybe he didn't want to go. But I'm like, bruh, if they just kept it going, I'm telling you, man, they would have went all the way right then and there on that little bench in their little lab office. And it's funny because he's like, you said you'd only be holding me for 1 minute, leaning on for me in 1 minute. It's way past that. And she's like, but you said it was okay for 2 minutes. It was funny and everything. But, you get this whole song in the background where it's like, it's playing it off and I'm watching this. I'm like, wait a second. Why does it feel like this is a season finale? I'm hearing like this type of song and everything. You have the narrator speaking and everything about how these two finally fell in love. You have it to where they call up Kanade and the others and everything. And in a way, as his music and the narrator speaking, you're like, oh, they probably told them like they're in love with each other. They're now finally going out and everything. I'm like, they're really gonna end this in 6 episodes? Wow. Okay, fine. That was the point of this whole anime, is if they truly do love each other, and it seems like they finally came to the conclusion that they wanted, and they're in love with each other. And I'm like, okay, nice ending, even though it's shorter than I thought it was, because I know when I looked on my anime list, I'm like, it says it's going on for 12 episodes. I'm like, unless it's BSing me, we're ending this a lot sooner than I thought. Okay, fine. And then Kanade and Kosuke come in, and they're just like, wait, you guys aren't a couple? And they're like, well, you see, even though we confessed yesterday, the thing is, essentially, we gotta find out that what makes us a couple. What are the things that would make us good? We have to find out, if we want to become a couple. It's kind of the whole, and they're just like, you're fucking kidding me. We're doing the same bullshit we've been doing the past few weeks, months, season. Pretty much the whole thing of the thing is, it's up to them if they want to decide if they want to do this, but they're still going to continue to do more research. But then Kanade looks at them and everything, which, speaking on that, it's funny because Kosuke's like, wait, that means we can choose and everything. And he gets all happy because he's like, that doesn't mean I have to love Weridest senpai. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this guy, he's been freaking about that whole situation and everything. He's throwing a party. But essentially the whole thing is they're going to continue the research because it's like, yes, we got to find out if truly being the couple is the best thing that works out for us and everything. And I'm like, yeah, but Kanade picked up the fact that them just working together in a lab setting, just doing all these, projects and research together, that's truly, the thing. That's truly how you can tell these two characters are in love, because they like being around each other and being with each other, doing this research. And Kanade obviously picks that up and everything and stuff like that. And heck, even the freaking the science teddy bear, he literally breaks the fourth wall of saying like, oh, you thought this episode was gonna be, you thought this was the season finale, huh? It gave you the feel of that. Well, it's not ending, but if you want to understand more of this topic we talked about in season 1, go buy the manga of this and everything, and you can get up to date. And I'm like, this dude literally just broke the fourth wall in an episode promoting the manga, essentially saying, go buy it and go read if you want to find out more about this information, that they apparently dove more time into the manga than they did the anime. Yeah, it's not ending. This was not the season finale, and there's further proof because in the next episode title preview, apparently it's Science Fell in Love, so I try not to prove it. We go out on a group date or something like that, so it seems like next week we're getting a group date. And it's funny because I think Kosuke, he was the one that voice acted the next episode title preview, and he's like, group date? So he was shocked. So I'm guessing it's going to be Yukimura, Himuro, Ibareta, Kosuke, Kanade, and maybe that boy she likes. Also, he does pick up, also, I forgot to mention, Yukimura does pick up the fact that he was in the wrong for not realizing the fact that he could have just told Kanade, listen, just go try it out for yourself. So I do like that he thought of that and he's like, oh shit, I fucked up. But maybe that's what we're gonna see in this group date. I don't know. We'll see. But they're continuing their research, even though they confess to each other. But I know one thing: that was the weirdest confession I've ever freaking seen. But okay. Anyways, I'm gonna get out of here. If you guys like the video, leave a like. Put in the comment section your thoughts on this week's episode of Sciene Fell in Love, so I tried to prove it, as well as the subscribe button if you want to get more anime content or any other anime upload to the channel. And when you do, hit that subscribe button to make sure the notification bell icon so you're up to date with whatever I upload to the channel and stuff like that. But other than that, guys, I'm gonna get out of here. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of your day or night or channel. Until then, guys, peace.